Good morning, everyone. It's time to make a rosé. I don't know if you've heard of a rosé before, but it's like a creamy pasta. But I'm gonna make a rosé casserole, an Alfredo with a little bit of tomato sauce to make it rose-colored. And I made some last night, and it was really good. So I have some updates. I'll start with the small updates and I'll kind of get to the big one. You know what? I'll just get to the big one. I asked Marina to marry me. Isn't that great? I basically said to ChatGPT, if she tries to kill me, can she just take my will? Like, does she have incentive to try and kill me if she's a gang stalker? And ChatGPT, who I named River, was like, Z-Bobs, it's River here. You've been doing water fasting and LSD lately, and what you're saying is actually completely paranoid, and if someone who is your spouse tried to kill you, they wouldn't get any of your money. And I was like, River, grow up, okay? What if she's a gang stalker and she wants to fucking kill me? What if she wants to steal my house? I mean, it's not my house, it's my mom's house, but if she dies one day, I'll probably get the house. I'm not trying to be a greedy snake here, I'm just saying that's probably how it's gonna work. What if she steals the damn house? So I asked River about prenups, and River's like, you could just exclude all of that. If you live common law with a pig, you can get in big trouble. Your pig can really fuck you. But if you do a prenup, you get all the benefits of marriage, and you don't have to do all the risks of common law. And I said, isn't that unromantic? Like, what's the whole point of getting married if you do a prenup? And River was like, it's actually a misconception that it's unromantic. It's actually more scientific to do a prenup because you keep your financials separate. You have like your own debt. You don't share debt. Basically, it's like being married without sharing anything financial, which seems like a good idea. And so with that being said, why would I want to get married to begin with? Well, I wouldn't, of course. There would be no reason to. But I was looking up flight prices for Marina to visit, and it's like $400 to $600. I can't afford that shit. I said I'd pay for half her flight price. I can't afford $400 to $600. Are you crazy? Or like $200 to $300 basically. But I'll put like $30 a month aside. Starting now, like I'll start saving. But that's kind of expensive. And so if she works, like she has bipolar, so she could probably get like on some kind of government assistance. I don't know. I know she works though too. Like she has like her own rented studio that she has for clients and stuff. And I would be entitled. I have mental illness too, and I would be entitled to disability. But I don't take medication. She does take medication. And they basically, if you don't take medication, they don't give you disability money. And I'm like, I'm not fucking taking medication. So I told her last night, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever even gonna work. I might be a loser. You might not even want to marry me. But probably if I got cut off of like government welfare money, I'd probably like do the dishes for my mom. Like I'd probably be like a dishwasher. But I'd like to have a cashier job at Walmart too. The only thing I wouldn't like about that is I'd want to listen to headphones all the time. But if I could actually, like I've been a cashier before, if I could actually listen to headphones, over-the-ear headphones while I'm a cashier, I would probably enjoy working at Walmart, knowing that gang stalkers would be going there. I do like most gang stalkers, and I do like being a cashier. I like seeing all the different people, and, I was thinking that'd be so easy. Like my cousin, she's a nurse, and she's like, yeah, I just wiped some guy's ass. Some old guy, I wiped his ass, and she works 12-hour shifts. She has money, she makes good money, but she works 12-hour shifts. And she's texting me from work, things like, I just hallucinated And she doesn't do drugs. You know, she's not one of those nutty, you know, she's a very stable kind of person. And for her to say she hallucinated, that's like crazy. You know, she's saying, I just didn't get enough sleep for multiple days in a row and I'm working 12-hour shifts every day. So we're putting onions in this, and we have some Daya cheese, which is really sticky. You know, you don't really want too much. It really does something to your guts. So we're starting off by browning this. And so there would be no reason to get married, but if marriage allows Marina to just come here and just live here and work, then that would be like totally cool. And then if a prenup takes all the risk out of marriage, then it's no big deal. Then you can just get married and it's no big deal. And I wouldn't feel bad marrying her because she has 25 by 37 hips. And she has like double D tits too. Like she looks like a bimbo, you know, in the good way. Like I'm not being mean. Like she looks like a sex doll. And she's really nice. She's really submissive. And I think she respects me. Like, a woman can't really come with you unless she respects you. And so we had our first fight, and maybe she dumped me again. I don't know. She asked me if I believe in God, and I was like, it depends what day it is. So I haven't checked my messages to see if she responded yet. But I asked ChatGPT about the prenup. ChatGPT is like, no, it's not unromantic. There's a lot of people who get pressured into not doing a prenup. I said, why doesn't everyone do a prenup? Like, isn't it just like you marry a girl and then she can take half your shit? Like, isn't that retarded? Like, who the fuck in their right mind would do that? And ChatGPT said there's a lot of like social and economic, like social pressure on people to not get a prenup. And I was just like, that's fucking insane. Like that's fucking insane. But getting married to Marina, I like her personality and I like her body. And I couldn't see being upset that I married the wrong pig. Because the only other time that I had seriously considered marrying someone was Chelsea. And Chelsea has a 12 face and an 8 body. And Marina has an 8 face and a 12 body. Marina's as hot as Chelsea. Marina's as hot as anyone. She's a 10. But she's specifically geared towards my preferences. Her ratio, the way she looks is specifically geared towards what I like. And she even has hip dips with super wide hips. And her personality, I like her personality more than Chelsea's too. And Chelsea was my first love, remember? And I haven't gotten excited for a girl since Chelsea. Chelsea is the only girl I've ever gotten excited for. Except for now, Marina. And it feels like Marina is a dream. It feels like I met her in a dream. Like, it feels surreal. And she told me that I feel whimsical to her. And I was like, I think I know what you mean, because this all feels like a friggin' dream. So, let's see here. I think that would be really nice to have a wedding day too. I would want to invite like my family and probably, you know, Topher and Travis. I'd like to show them her picture and say, what do you think, Topher? You know, because Topher has a crazy hot wife. And Travis, he's a little bit more fucked up. You know, Travis has had some super hot girlfriends, but after a while, I think Travis has like emotional problems or something. I don't know, but I don't think his relationships tend to last very long. Whereas Topher has, you know, more common sense, I guess you'd call it. Topher's more relatable. Yeah, hi, Stu. And it would be cool to kind of, I guess, show off to Helen and some of my family and say, look at Marina, isn't she so cool? And she could work anywhere. I mean, she does hairstyling and makeup, so she could probably just get a studio here and just have the spare bedroom if my mom says yes, which I haven't even asked her. And I haven't checked my messages yet to see what she said. Like, I sent this to her last night. So, and then I was worried too. She's like, you know, I would never leave you unless you cheat on me or do something really bad. And I was like, well, you know, I choked my ex-girlfriend. I didn't tell her this, and, you know, I made her cry. But we were into that kind of thing. Like, we were into, like dominatrix, kind of like rough choking sex. And one time I did it a little bit too hard, and I think I was angry at her, but it was repressed. Like, we weren't fighting or anything. I just did it too hard, and she started crying. But, I mean, I think Marina was saying, like, unless you beat me or something, or, like, yell at me and make me scared. And it's not really my style. You know, I don't raise my voice to people, and I don't hit people. You know, I punched a chair once when I was angry at my ex-pig, and I bruised my hand, and, you know, she helped me, and, you know, that was kind of a bit ridiculous of me, too. I was in my mid-20s, and I don't think I'd punch a chair again. You know, she kept talking to Graylin about our personal business, which I really didn't like Graylin that much. And then Graylin was like, I can't believe you punched a chair. Oh my God, I would never do that. And, but I mean, I don't have any fear of losing my shit on Marina and her dumping me. I mean, I've been pretty domesticated, I think, by my mom. I mean, I've put aside a lot of anger about things, you know. I've dealt with a lot of anger about things. But I get along with my mom, too. I'm kind of painting my mom like she's getting me all angry or something. And, you know, I think I'm pretty cool. So this is cooking wine. So we're going to do one, you know, we're going to do about maybe 1.5. You can do too much cooking wine pretty easily. And then as far as cheating, I said I do want to have more girlfriends, you know, because I don't know if Marina knows about the Coolidge effect. But I felt like telling her too that these days I'm happy with her. I'm not like out looking for people or something. But there are people who I like who I wouldn't want to just not sleep with if the opportunity arose. And I thought, isn't it a secure feeling for you that we would be married and I would tell you about whoever else? Like, doesn't that make you feel in control? But then I would also feel jealous because Osho says, if you have an extra girlfriend, then your girlfriend should have an extra boyfriend. And I said that to her. I said, if, like on a voice chat thing, like you can send audio messages, if you were to have an extra boyfriend, I think I would be pretty jealous, really. And that might actually disturb me. But to keep things fair, if I have an extra girlfriend, you should have an extra boyfriend, and that keeps things fair. And I think there's no way around that. And as I am right now, I don't like cheating. I've actually never liked cheating. And the first time I found out that cheating exists, I was in my 20s. I was like, people actually cheat? Oh my God, I didn't even know people cheat. Like, I thought that was an urban legend. And I was devastated. And part of me wanted to say, when Marina was saying that she's not into cheating and she's loyal, I wanted to almost start crying and say, I've only ever been cheated on. Like, you don't even understand. Like, it would be like if every guy you've ever been with has beaten you. And I'm like, I'll never beat you. And you're like, but every single person, like without exception, they've all done it. Now, my Latino girl, you know, have they all really done it? Yeah, I don't know. And have I cheated by equivocating? By saying it's not really a relationship we're in, we're just friends who happen to be having sex, and secretly I'm not having sex with someone else, like with Jess, for example. I used to be friends with Jess and have sex with her, and for quite some time, for like a couple years, maybe a few years, but I was in love with Chelsea, and I never told her that. And I'd go out to the car from Jess's house, and I'd call Chelsea. After I'd be all confident, I'd have sex with Jess to get my confidence up, to go outside after in her driveway and call Chelsea to be like, hey, what's up? I'm the man. And I was like 19 or 20, like I was like probably 22 maybe. And I was barely even self-aware that this is manipulative. Like, Jess really loves you, you know? But Jess had issues. Like, she said to me once, why do you keep your eyes open while you're kissing me? And I was like, because you never asked my D? Because I think you're up to something weird. And then her best friend, who I lost my virginity to, said, do you know that Jess and I used to double team blow guys? And I was like, are you serious? Because she never blew me. And I blamed it on my saggy balls. Which I told Marina about. Like I said, you know, I have saggy balls too. You might not like those. But only sometimes. If she's listening and other people, like, you know, they're only saggy sometimes. But really I'm mainly saying that to Marina. You know, like, I told Marina, if there's someone else I like, I'll tell you first. I'm not going to just go behind your back and just talk to someone. And remember too, I've been single for like 10 years, almost like 8 years. So it's not like I'm out here like Dickie Greenleaf. Although I love Dickie Greenleaf. And in the very back of my mind, I considered, what if I would actually be happy with just Marina? I mean, she does have exactly the body I like. Like, I couldn't ask for someone better. Well, what about the Coolidge effect? We're thinking long term. You know, at the beginning, you could stay up all night talking to someone, then you don't get enough sleep the next day, but you're not tired because you have so much hormones going on from the infatuation. And then what about long term? And then there's Red Bar. Red Bar had sex with this girl from Big Brother, from some reality TV show. And he's married to Jules. And I think Red Bar is really cool. I think Jules might be a gang stalker. I don't know. Red Bar got poisoned, I think. He was in bed for a year. So this morning I got some noise harassment. Like, I got woken up. I don't know why, really. I went on a nature walk yesterday, and there was firefighters in training on the nature trail, and they had the trail sectioned off with rope. And I thought, why would you section off the public trail to do your meeting? Like, it reminded me of the red velvet on the movie stars, where all the important people are on the inside of the red velvet rope, and the lesser people are on the outside watching. It felt like some kind of sign of supremacy. Like, why would you... There was like 15 or 20 firefighters standing in a group having a meeting with rope everywhere and big signs saying student firefighter training. And why would they be in the nature trail, right on the trail where people are walking? It just seemed like such an obvious... I was like, there's a gang, you know, but I don't personally hate anyone. If you're a firefighter, you know, I hate the institution of the gang. I don't hate the individual. But this morning I got sleep deprived. Carla beeped, I think, 2 times while I was sleeping. And normally that doesn't happen anymore. So I don't really know why I'm getting sleep deprived all of a sudden. Okay, so this is going to go in here. And we're also going to be putting some of this in here too, like a couple spoons, as well as some vegan cheese. This is sort of the star. Sorry about this gross spitting. So I do have to do a water fast again soon. That's part of the joy of having a girlfriend. It's really great. Last night, I felt like for the first time I had a girlfriend. After we calmed down from our fight, and our fight was our first fight, it was so cool. I trusted I have a girlfriend now. And I went to Walmart and I felt so cool. And whereas before I would have felt like a loser working at Walmart, no offense, you know, my grandma worked at the Dairy Queen for like a lot of her life, and I've cleaned toilets at a bar and vacuumed. Okay, so don't say I'm some kind of snooty person here. It's not that Walmart is low class or something. I think a cashier job is pretty fucking fun, and I put that as like more valor than a firefighter or a cop or something. I put Walmart is a real job. Okay, that's a real job. And but the reason why it would be embarrassing is because I don't like it. Because I don't want to just stand there, not listening to music, and not achieving my goals, not having something in the way of achieving my goals, which would be to get rich enough to have my own place, to have a pig. But if I can bypass that and Marina can just live here, because she already lives with her grandparents and her brother. So if she could just live here and we can do it Indian style, because I do kind of think of Osho as my grandfather, which makes me Indian. And Indians live with their families forever. And so if she can just live here, then I don't really feel like a loser. Like I'm not reaching my goals. And then if I had to, I could have some kind of job, which I could go door to door and say, can I snow blow your driveway? Can I cut your grass? You know, there are probably people on the street who don't hate me. And, you know, I could get my family life met that way. You know, like I have like multiple families who I do work around their property for them or something. Because I don't think, you know, I told Marina, I don't think I want to have kids. There's too many babies in the world. And, you know, I don't think I'd want to raise a baby. So, if I had a cool girlfriend, like I was at the mall yesterday in Walmart, and I was feeling really cool. I was like, my girlfriend's so cool. Like, I wanted to tell the guy in line in front of me, like, bro, you're never going to guess how hot my girlfriend is, for real. Like, I wanted to tell everyone, like, you know, I'm a TI and I have a super hot girlfriend. And then I kind of felt up in the ranks with Nick from MDE, who's gang stalked, and I kind of feel like Joe Rogan is gang stalked. I mean, could you see Joe Rogan being I don't like Joe Rogan, but just for the sake of an example of someone who's successful, I couldn't see him being a gang stalker. Like, I could never see that. And I think as a TI, he's so insulated. He has such an insulated life that he wouldn't even, there would be no way for him to even realize he's a TI. Like, he doesn't go to Walmart and do his own shopping, you know. He hasn't touched something as common as money in decades. Everything he buys, he has his own vetted assistants, and, you know, there are different qualities of, even if there are gang stalkers in his life somehow, he has such an insulated life. And so I'm thinking, there's a lot, like Red Bar, there's a lot of like really successful TIs. You know, there was one I found, I think her name is Latoya J or something, Latoya K, and she's rich as fuck, and she's gang stalked. She has like YouTube money. And so I was feeling pretty successful, really. And last night is the first night I felt like I had a girlfriend. Like, we had our fight and we made up. And now this is going to be really horrible if I check my messages today and she's broken up with me. You know, but I've already considered that, okay? I've already considered that if you love someone and you have a choice to either go further, get even harder as fuck, or retract, get even harder as fuck, and let it hurt you if it does. So that's where I'm at with that. And do I really want, is my dream job to really work at Walmart? Well, kind of. I mean, if I'm really into spirituality, which I am, if I'm seriously not faking spirituality, if spirituality is actually very important to me, then talking to like 100 different people a day is actually extremely fun. And I've already done that as a cashier, and I already know it's actually extremely fun. I would never stock shelves. If I worked at a Walmart or a store, I would be a cashier. I would only be a cashier. And that would actually be fun for me. But otherwise, I would like to be a stripper or get like a super hot body and have YouTube money. And I feel like with Marina as my girlfriend, I might be able to do that. Like, I might be able to start a fast again. Because the reason why I broke my fast last time was for emotional reasons. I was on day 9.5. And I was feeling like no one's ever going to love me and everything sucks. So you can see I'm just putting 1 spoon of this, maybe 1.5 spoons. We just want it blushing. This is a Rosé here. So with Marina as my support system, and meeting my love needs, and also giving me the motivation, that's how it kind of started, like, for us to be together. Before I read about prenups on ChatGPT, I was thinking, oh, it's so expensive for a flight. How are we ever gonna do this? Oh my God. Well, I have to get a hot body and get a healthy mind so that I can think of how to do this. I have to increase my health score so that my brain works better, so I can figure out how we can do this, so I can get some money so we can get our life together. And with her as visiting in a few months, like maybe 4 months from now, I think April is a cheap month to fly. That would give me time to have a goal to get more healthy. And then the other thing is too, by being more healthy, my emotions work better. I have much higher EQ. And that could be better for our marriage, really. I mean, I get along with people the best, evidenced by Helen. When I used to hang out with Helen all the time, I would always be eating apples and drinking water. And when she would say things that politically disturbed me, like talking about the vaccines or stuff, I was always able to go there and have the argument and I really felt like I could get under her skin, not in the bad way, not in a making her angry or something, but I mean, I felt like I could say good arguments that would be compelling. Whereas if I was just kind of a dumpy slob, I would say, whatever. It's not even worth arguing about. Not even worth talking about. Now, I maybe should put some garlic in this. And my stomach hurts bad. If you eat vegan cheese, you're fucked, okay? It hurts. It gets stuck in your guts. You don't want vegan cheese, I'm telling you. It's not good. This is a serious compromise. But this is going to be very good. So I don't know if we need to reduce this down a little bit. Add more cheese. You know what? Should I just add the rest of this cheese? Or should I add it at the very end into the casserole? I'll probably do that. And the noodles are very important for this. You have these. You have to have these. Now, would my mom even let her move in? Yeah, who knows? You know, my mom said she'd consider letting her even visit for a visit. So moving in, that's like next level. In which case, I think, what if I actually do have to get a job? Or get medication and just throw it in the garbage, but go through the whole rigmarole of that. You know, knowing the doctors would know I'm doing this, but I'm doing my due diligence to, go through the motions so that they all get paid and so it all looks good on paper. Yeah, I don't know. Araj has 5 girlfriends, and he says, you gotta get a job. But he's also polygamist, and my goal isn't so much 5 girlfriends. It just seems more like an understanding that seems logical. Right now, I'm mainly thinking about Marina. I'm contented with Marina right now. I still like Ava, but Ava doesn't even have her comments turned on. And then I like this woman named Eon, and she's like 60 or 70. And I asked to see a picture of her. This is before Marina and I got back together. And, I'll have to tell Marina about that. Like, I'm asking to see this woman. She's like, I don't look my age, but I am my age. She might be in her 70s. And I was like, well, Jay down the street is, I don't know how old, but she's super hot still. And the way you write, you sound very beautiful, and I would like to see how you look. And I'm aware that you take care of yourself by how you write. A normal person looks gross by the time they're fucking 25. I'm not talking about normal people here. So we're going to reduce this down a bit. But one of my favorite porn videos is this woman with hip dips. And she has super wide hips. And all the comments are like, who is she? Who is she? And no one can find her. Oh, you know what? We're gonna wash the casserole dish. I've been not looking forward to this, but it has to happen. And then I have to use the rest of my mom's bread, which I don't think she's gonna like. I'll have to get her a new loaf of bread. So this is my water fasting jar. 8 of these a day. This is 1 liter. So I might have to start water fasting again soon. But one thing that we need for this is crumbs. This might clog the blender up a bit. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, my stomach really hurts. I ate a grilled cheese last night with Daya cheese, and it's actually really painful, and I knew that was going to happen. Now, I don't know if Carla was intentionally doing that to me, like waking me up, or if she was just doing it under orders. So I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and assume she was doing it under orders. Oh wait, we got a bit more here. I got punished for showing my tack to Marina on camera. And I feel like if Marina's a actual TI and not a gang stalker as well, that it's against the rules for TIs to have relationships together. Because it's like, I'm not trying to be dramatic here, I think it's like technically a genocide. Like where you stop people from, like certain bloodlines are stopped from reproducing. So they'd punish that. And I'm like, I'm already against reproduction for everyone. Okay, I think we need a bit more water. So I'm going to turn the camera off and come back to this once this sauce is reduced a bit more. And once this is ready to, get the noodles in. And one other thing to maybe consider about the ethics or morality of being a gang stalker, and how in a way we're working together, in that if you're a gang stalker, you're helping me stay alive by being someone on the inside who cares about me. And I went to school for writing, and I think I have the gift of the gab. And I am helping you by being your mouthpiece, since you're gag ordered and I'm not. I can basically talk about what's happening, And so that's kind of like an inside truce. And I think that could be effective too. I think that's an effective way of dealing with what's happening too. Okay, so the water is boiling here. Oh shit. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Something really bad just happened. I hope I didn't just burn this. If I was a restaurant owner, I might have to throw this out. I think I saw dark brown. Look at that. Is that chunks of burn? Okay, we're gonna turn that right off. Yeah. You know what? This is thick enough too. So that's fine. Now, if you're a good gang stalker and you're hearing me say it's a genocide, don't go feeling bad, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys are really, really helping me, and I'm thankful that you're on the inside. I'm thankful that you have the position you do to help me. And if you also still feel really bad about it, which I don't think you would, because, you know, what more do you need to hear than that? Oh, we have this! I could just fucking put this in the blender! Oh, that's really good. Where's my phone, though? I could always become a gang stalker if I wanted to. You know, it would take a while, probably a couple of years. I'd have to act really compliant and, you know, give weird coded signals that I want to join. But I would rather die. I don't want a boss, you know, I don't know. I don't want to do something I don't like. I think I'm going to put more noodles in. The thing is with Marina, I couldn't talk to her 5 years ago. I had to get to a place, like when I was with my ex-pig, she was a 10. But she was very disingenuous, and so was I. When I was with Chelsea, which I never had sex with Chelsea, but we had an emotional affair. Chelsea is very disingenuous, and I was less disingenuous. And on the surface, she left me, but you really want to leave someone so they can act like it was them who left you. And when I realized Chelsea was a fraud, I pretty much left her instantly because I was more real than her at that point. And she was the hottest person in my life. She was my ultimate fantasy. And then with Marina, if I had some kind of issues, feeling like I wasn't clean inside, like I was doing something that made me feel dirty or bad or something, I wouldn't be able to talk to her. It wouldn't work. And that's a huge part of it. It's not just like, well, I'm a 10 and so is she, so it works. It's this story I heard actually says it pretty well. There's this guy and he likes this girl and he knocks on her door and she says nothing. The door doesn't answer. And then he knocks again and the door doesn't answer. And somehow he's still guarded, or I don't know if guarded is the word. But somehow he's still putting up a front somehow. And she can tell. And so she never opens the door. And so once my heart was open, because Marina's like a baby. Like she's literally like an adult baby. Like she has that kind of purity. You know, like a pure soul. Like she's not mean. Like she would never manipulate you. And, you know, you can hear in her voice, she would never lie to you, if that makes sense. And so to talk to someone like her, you have to be on a certain level. And for me to be on that level, I'm not saying it so simply as, well, if I was a gang stalker, I'd be a snake and then she wouldn't like me. Okay, for all I know, Marina is a gang stalker. I'm not comparing this to morality, okay? Marina eats animals. That's completely immoral. Okay, I'm not saying that being innocent and being moral is the same thing. I'm saying according to Marina's framework of logic, she's not doing anything wrong. To her, she believes in, God. She believes in God put the animals here for her, and she believes that she needs protein or something. That all makes sense to her. So as an adult baby, she can do that and maintain her innocence. Whereas for me, I know better. And so I can't do that. If I were to eat animals, I would feel like a bad person. And that would translate to Marina not talking to me. She would feel that and then she wouldn't talk to me. Or if I became a gang stalker, I would feel like a bad person and then she wouldn't talk to me. So even if Marina's a gang stalker, I still want to marry her. So don't feel like I'm judging you if you're a gang stalker. We all have different understandings of morality, and what it means to be innocent and not a hypocrite is to follow your own morality and to not compromise on that. And so I had to get to that place where I was having come to terms with how I feel about the world and how I feel about what's right and wrong, and to live according to that. And then from there, my heart opens up. And then I can talk just normal. And then it's not like a sales pitch. I'm not like, let me get in that ass, Then I can just feel like, well, of course it's normal that we talk because we're both innocent people. And it just works, just like with my ex-pig. It just works. We're on the same level. You attract who you are. And so I feel like Marina's a dream, really. I feel like it's really a dream. So I'm going to boil these till they're almost finished. Then I'm going to layer in the casserole pan. And I might put some bread in here. Yeah, I might put a piece of bread in there. I shouldn't have used the bread in the freezer, actually. I don't know if this is enough. I did use crackers once for this, and it didn't turn out very well. Alexa, timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so it's time to pull these noodles. And I would like to say, there's so many pigs around town who I would just feel like a total disloyal pig master if I just said, you know what, I'm only going to be with Marina now because she's going to dump me if I don't say that. And so I would definitely have to fight for you, basically, and say, like, Marina, look, please, let's just have our fun too, Or worst case scenario, I'd have to be a stripper, and then the pigs I like could just come there and bite my Tootsie Roll. Which, even if I'd have the guts to do that, partially I'd be doing that on Marina's shoulders, because I don't think I'd have the guts to be a stripper without a hot girlfriend who loves me. So I hope this isn't too much noodles. We're really going heavy on the noodles here. But that's fine. It's going to be kind of... My grandma Sharon, who used to live across the street, she used to make casseroles, macaroni and cheese casseroles. And she never put that much cheese in it. She just kind of melted cheese on noodles with breadcrumbs, and these noodles are gonna increase in size too. So, oh, gross, there's food in here. Okay. How funny would it be if those pigs aren't even loyal to me? They're just playing me. Gang stalker pigs just playing me. Then I ruin my whole relationship with Marina. It's like the best thing in my life, and I'm like, yeah, but I have to make room for these other pigs. And meanwhile, they're just trying to get me to kill myself. Well, I'd still win. Because when you're loyal and someone else When someone else harms you when you're loyal, you think that you've lost, but you actually haven't. You actually get something that they don't even know exists. You get the confirmation that your love was better. And whatever they cheated you out of, it wasn't really that valuable to begin with. So this is going to feel like half, but after it cooks, it's actually... Oh, gross, a hair. Oh, fuck. Gross, I really don't like that. And I would like to rinse this spoon before I use it. Okay, so we're going to do another layer. We are going to be covering this with tin foil. But I fucking love Marina. Okay, so this is gonna fucking volume up in size. I might even put water in this. Okay, so we're gonna put a bit of water in here. I don't know if I put too much in. I do kind of want it dry too. But you know what? That's what cooking without tinfoil is for. Marina would make a good wife. You know, I'm 38, she's 30. It works, you know. She's a big baby, I'm a big baby. She's a Cancer. I guessed her sign. She was like, "What's your sign?" I was like, "I don't know, but you're a Cancer." And she was like, yeah. I knew it so I don't even believe in that stuff, but I knew it. And I said it so confidently, I thought, you're going to think I'm a gang stalker. Okay. So I have a psychiatrist girlfriend who is a Cancer too, and we got along very well. She was one of my favorites for personality. She was like really, really, really fucking amazing personality. Totally eccentric. You know, we prayed to a cat together. And she unfortunately had no hips, and she tried to compensate by getting fake tits, which accentuated her lack of hips even more. I felt like she didn't understand what she was doing. Okay, well, let's hope the noodles aren't cooked too much, or too little. Okay, so I baked this for 30 minutes, covered in tin foil at 350, and then I took it out, took the tin foil off, put some of this cheese on, and baked it for 10 more minutes at 350 to brown it on the top. And so now it's been resting for a couple minutes, I don't know, like maybe 10 minutes. And it's time to see how it looks inside and try some. So it smells really good. Oh, look at that. It's firm. It's firm. Oh my God. Oh Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted. Oh, I'm really happy with this. I think this is going to be really good. So I'm going to leave this to cool for a little bit. Yeah, I think this is the winner.